Yo, it's your boy AJ. I'm here with Rage. The Lakers just advanced. We're gonna talk about it. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe. You're now tuned in to Hoops World.
Hoops World.
James. Right here, the king is like, hey, guess what? I'm still the king.
I hit the streets just to get a bag. I pack, he got toe tagged. I punched the nigga for shorty. I'm John Woo with the 40. You not gang nor the homie. Don't blow me, no, you don't know me. Gang shit, members only. You wasn't there, I was lonely. You wasn't there, I was lonely. Dog nights, blicky on me. I was just stacking my commas up. Head down, trying to run it up. These niggas be steady, be clocking me. Like the DJ, they watching me.
Yeah, man, we're back, man. Shout out to all our subscribers, man. That sorry we fell off for a bit, but we're finally back just in time for the NBA playoffs, man. What a game between the Lakers and the Pelicans. Crazy game. We're gonna start in the beginning, man. So first quarter of the Pelicans, we thought it was going to be a paint battle, and the Pelicans held the Lakers to 4 points in the paint in the first quarter, 18-4 in the paint. Pelicans were up 34-26. Zion started off hot, 10.6 rebounds. Brandon Ingram was getting buckets, middies, and then D'Lo kept the Lakers alive with 3 for 4 from three. It was just really good start for the Pelicans, but then the second quarter happened, and that's when you seen the Lakers just creep back in. Pelicans had a 10-point lead going into the second quarter. Lakers went on two runs, a 12-0 run and a 13-0 run in the last 2 minutes. What did you see from the Pelicans? Why did they lose that lead in the second quarter going into halftime, Rays? What did you see?
So in most of this game, in every Pelicans game, if you watch, a lot of their offense is heavily reliant on Zion, Brandon Ingram, and CJ McCollum.
Yeah.
And early in the game, Brandon Ingram had an all right start.
Yeah.
And it was clear that the offense was running through those three.
Yeah.
And Zion obviously was getting his too. And we got to a point where they didn't bring in Brandon Ingram until 6 minutes left in the second because they kept him out. Half of the second.
Yeah,
They brought him back in, and then they couldn't score. Brandon Ingram wasn't able to really get anything either. CJ McCollum was a dud the whole game. He wasn't really doing much, and Zion was getting his, but he's just getting twos.
Yeah,
he's just getting twos. And the 3-1 shooting essentially fell off because outside of that, they didn't really have much besides Trey Murphy and then Alvarado later in the stretch.
Yeah, and I didn't know Brandon was on a minutes restriction because I realized he was coming back from injury. I know they said it before the game, but he didn't play down the stretch. That's kind of, I was like, damn, they really needed him down the stretch. And then, like you said, his minutes were. I feel like the coach Willie Green, right? He was staggering Zion and Brandon Ingram. They were kind of separate, and they needed scoring bad. In the half court, the Pelicans offense is just non-existent. It's there's no ball movement, no cutting. It's just kind of players go one-on-one, or you feed Zion and he trying to bullies in the paint. It's they don't really have
There's not much of an offense behind what they do. It's pretty familiar, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
yeah. The Lakers got hot and then took the lead in the halftime. It was 60-50. Lakers outscored New Orleans 34-16 in the second quarter. LeBron had 15. Then we get to the third quarter. We fast forward to the third quarter. Lakers had an 18-point lead, and it looked like it was smooth sailing. I remember I texted you yo, this is might be an early stream for us. But then the Pelicans made a nice little run down the stretch. Zion hit a buzzer beater. He was amazing tonight. Shout out to Zion. We're going to talk about that. But LeBron rest in the third quarter, they took LeBron out with 2 minutes left, and they cut it to 7 on a 19-8 run over the last 5 minutes. So they gave up a 3 on a 2-for-1. So we all thought the game was getting over, and then the Pelicans just shot back in the game in that third quarter. Zion, man, let's talk about Zion tonight, bro. It was just, we thought Zion, like I said, we haven't really seen Zion in the playoffs because he's been hurt. No pun intended, he's been hurt all the time. And he's always just it's just every time we get to the postseason, we don't see Zion hurt. Finally, he gets a chance, and he's just dominant. The defense he had on LeBron tonight, I swear I saw him punch LeBron shot 3 times. He was getting rebounds. He was getting to the paint. He was just the source of the offense for the Pelicans. I mean, early on, it was B.I., but BI didn't really like I said, he's coming back from injury, so it didn't look like he had the rhythm going down the stretch.
It was essentially once he stopped playing after that first quarter,
yeah,
it essentially was gone.
yeah, exactly. So coming into the fourth quarter, you cut the lead to 7, and then this is where it just becomes a back and forth game. I think that the Pelicans tied it like 4 times, and then this happens. Zion goes to the locker room. I think it was with 2 minutes left right here. It looks like a non-contact injury because I'm like, where did he get hurt here? I didn't see it. I didn't see. I don't know if it was his foot. I don't know if it was his ankle, but it looked. I hate non-contact because non-contact injuries scare me the most.
It looked like the way he stopped. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. So that I think he left at the 2 or 3 minute mark, and he didn't come back in the game.
And that was huge because it was like obviously he had such a great game, but it was like, dude, Zion just cannot escape these injuries, man. And this is ultimately like the biggest problem for Zion, and for him to go down in a game like this is very unfortunate, especially for the Pelicans who have to play another play-in game. Although at home without Zion, this team is very, very interesting because who are your offensive sources besides CJ and Brandon Ingram? Yeah. CJ, they both played bad tonight.
CJ
obviously, it can change next game, and they can play better, and it looks better because they're going to be facing the Warriors or the Kings, which is going on right now.
Yeah.
We'll see. But if Zion's not back, then it won't matter. It won't matter for either of those games.
I feel like if Zion is not playing in this game that they're going to play, whoever wins this, the loser of this Warriors Kings, I feel like the Pelicans they got to pack it up.
And who knows how severe this injury is? Like if it's not good, like
it's just if it's severe, it's just it's a bad news. But quick shout out to Jose. Was it Alvarado? Yeah, quick shout out to Alvarado tonight. He's just a little pest, but then he got into the game and really switched the momentum to keep the Pelicans in the game down the stretch. 10 points, 7 assists. Like he was just throwing crazy alleys to Zion. Then on the Lakers side of it, AD was Mr. No-show until like the third, fourth quarter. He ended the game with 20 points and 15 rebounds, 3 blocks. Great stats. But if you watch the game, those stats didn't come into like the late fourth, probably middle of the fourth. That's when he started to like wake up. And the next series, AD, you cannot afford to go ghost at all because you're going to be playing Joker. So Braun did what Braun did, 23 and 9. Shout out to D'Lo. D'Lo was it's funny because Lakers are about to trade D'Lo, and now D'Lo is like very pivotal to the Lakers' success. He is just unbelievable from 3. Austin Reeves gave you 16. But yeah, the Lakers, it's gonna be interesting to see what they do against the Nuggets. But what are your like quick thoughts on the next preview for the Nuggets Lakers? Like I remember I asked you before this. Are the Lakers better than last year, or are they kind of like the same place? Like
they're in like the exact same place for me. They're essentially in the same position, but now instead of playing the Nuggets in the Western Conference Finals, they get to play them in the first round.
Yeah.
So and the Nuggets have home court advantage, so it's essentially almost a copy and paste of last year.
Copy and paste.
You know.
Yeah. So I think it's gonna be, like I said, I think it's either gonna be a sweep. Sorry, Lakers fans. It's gonna be either a sweep or maybe like a win in 5. Maybe the one.
Yeah, I think it'll be all Nuggets. But first off, the one thing we did not talk about was the amount. So we talked about in this game, right? Mm-hmm. There was, it was crazy the amount of threes that were being shot this game. They said the league average is 35 shots from 3 a game. Yeah. They had that by the first half. Both of these teams ended up shooting 65 threes total. They almost doubled the league average this game.
That is insane. That's a great stat. I forgot to put that stat in. That stat is crazy because like that just shows you like these teams are starting to settle for a bunch of threes, like 40 threes. Like that's just, and I think that's part of the problem for the Pelicans because thank God the Lakers were shooting hot from 3. What did they shoot tonight? I'm looking at it. Like these guys were.
They shot 40 from 3.
40 from 3.
40%.
Thank God the Lakers, because Lakers, be on and off, but they shot 40 from 3. I think the problem with the Pelicans is because when their offense gets stagnant, they settle for too many threes, and it's just bad shot selection. And it was terrible tonight. CJ was terrible. Herb kind of went off and on. Trey would hit some threes, and then he would just miss a whole bunch. So that, like you said, the amount of threes that the Pelicans settled for, it was just crucial to the game.
Yeah,
Going forward,
it's
though,
like Alvarado and Murphy, and then that's it. That's it. That's all they really
yeah,
got on their bench.
going forward,
And then at that point, like I said, if they lose Zion, they're cooked. They're cooked. They're cooked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Going forward,
it's hard. It's really hard because they don't have any source of offense really besides those three guys, and to lose Zion, their their best one.
Yeah.
Is
if you're a Pelicans fan,
that hurts. That hurts magnificently. It stinks for sure. But I mean, it was a very good game. Very good game. At least they were able to they had a big lead, they lost it and came back.
Yeah. If you're a Pelicans fan, man, what is your how confident are you? Well, let me ask you this. If you're a Pelicans fan, how confident are you in the next series? And then what do you need to do if you lose to get better and come back next year? What is your what do you think
you still got
need?
the play-in game, and then you'd have to face OKC if you win.
Mhm.
But the thing is that you get eliminated. Like the Pelicans have essentially been in the same position for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
For ever since they've they got Anthony Davis and they made the playoffs with him. It's essentially just been first round exits.
Yeah.
First round if they make it.
Do you think it's time to blow it up? Because a lot of people are saying it's blow it up time, trade Zion, trade be somebody is it blow it up time? Or is it just retool? Like me personally, I think they need a point guard and they need, like you said, a bench score. They need bench scoring badly. I know Alvarado did his thing, but they need somebody that can get buckets off the bench, like a Lonnie Walker or a six. They need a 6-man. I feel like they need a 6-man bad. But a point guard for sure, because they need somebody to facilitate this offense. This offense is very stagnant. Pelicans fans, let us know in the comments, how nervous are you going into the next game? And if you guys lose and are eliminated, what's your strategy? Are you willing to blow it up? Do you think we just retool and come back again? Because you've been in the same position every year. Every year you make the playoffs, Zion gets hurt, and you lose. It's like a they're in Groundhog Day, bro. It's like it keeps happening over and over again for Pelicans fans.
It's just it's unfortunate, but the thing is with the Pelicans is that I don't think you break that up. I think Brandon Ingram is 26, Zion is 23.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I think you just wait it out and see what happens with Zion, because he just hasn't had we had this season, but he just keeps getting injured, and it's just you got to figure out how long you want to hold on to Zion, because I don't think Brandon Ingram is worth getting rid of unless you're focused on getting rid of Zion. Yeah. I don't know about keeping one or the other. I think if you want to keep anyone, it should be Zion. Brandon Ingram is good, but
yeah. Might have to send CJ away, bro.
Yeah. It's so interesting because there's different ways they can go about it, but they just need that score. I think they need to get somebody else. They need to get somebody else, because there's not too much going on. If they're gonna rely heavily on three players, then they can't have they can't have CJ McCollum and Brandon Ingram play the way they did today.
Yeah, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe. I'm so sorry that we're coming back. Finally, it's been a long time. If you're still with us, hit that like button for us. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok, Hoops World 0. Hoops World 0 on Instagram and TikTok. We're going to be breaking down all these games, Warriors, Kings, the first round series, and we're going to try to, give you guys great content. Appreciate you guys so much. We'll be back.